4 days, 25 miles, 2 friends, 1 wilderness, high alpine meadows, towering pines, snow, sun, and the kind of silence that makes you hear yourself think. Join me and my good friend Matt from Southwest Backpacker as we hike hidden trails, discover secret camps, and find moments of peace and laughter off the beaten trail. This is San Pedro Parks Wilderness. Adventure, challenge, and a little bit of magic await.
Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock Canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together.
Good howdy, folks. Welcome back to another James Blackburn experience. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And I know I say this a lot in my videos, but today is going to be a very special episode. But I actually feel like they're all pretty special. And today, why is it so special? Well, you can see behind us, we're up in the mountains. And this is my good friend Matt, the Southwest Backpacker. And he's going to tell you a little bit about where we're at and what we're doing.
So today we are up in the San Pedro Parks Wilderness in the Santa Fe National Forest of New Mexico. And James and I are going to do a loop hike, which will consist of 3 days. 3 nights, 4 days. And it's going to be roughly about a 22 to 25 mile loop hike. And there's going to be a section that I actually haven't done before. So I've got a new section of trail that I haven't hiked. And of course, James hasn't been on half of this hike either. So yeah, we're going to explore together the San Pedro Parks Wilderness. And part of this is going to have the Continental Divide Trail, which will be totally awesome.
Really looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, you guys got a lot in store. It's going to be an awesome hike.
All right, so as I say in every video, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, here's the single step.
There's something about standing at a trailhead that feels like a quiet agreement, an agreement between you and the land. You promise to slow down, to listen, to carry only what you need. And the wilderness promises to tell you something about yourself if you pay attention. This is San Pedro Parks Wilderness. 4 days, 3 nights, about 25 miles. Just 2 people, me and my good friend Matt from the Southwest Backpacker YouTube channel.
I think if the key for me is taking breaks occasionally when we need it, like once an hour or so. Oh man, that sucks. Am I clearing it? Okay, I was close.
Matt planned this entire trip. Every mile, every camp, every decision. And that matters because out here, leadership isn't about being loud. It's about being calm, confident, experienced. And Matt is all of those things.
All right, folks, we made it the first mile in already. We're at San Gregorio Lake, and it's a lot higher now than it was when I was here in 2020. The water's up way further. It's so beautiful. Let's go out and take a quick look at it. First mile felt pretty good. About 5-6 miles to go still. We're gonna be tired by the end of the day, but boy, am I loving being here. Absolutely amazing. There you go. There's the lake.
The first mile past San Gregorio Lake feels ceremonial. The lake sits there quietly, reflective.
Wow, a lot of water here now. Last time I was here, this was probably dry. Matt's trying to find a place to get across where we won't get our feet wet, so I think I'll go join him.
We started the San Gregorio Lake trailhead. About a mile in, the lake appears. Quiet, reflective, almost ceremonial. It feels like the last polite nod from civilization before it steps back and lets the wilderness take over. Once we pass the lake, things change. The trail narrows, the trees close in, and just like that, you're no longer visiting nature, you're inside it.
All right, folks, we're about the first mile or so in. Last time I was here with the guys, we stopped at this same exact tree to take a little break, and we're doing a break here again. We both feel like the first mile went good, but the packs need a slight adjustment, so we're going to do that real quick before continuing our hiking journey today. It's beautiful out, good weather, and classic New Mexico blue skies. Look at that.
A few downfall trees force us to climb over, or crawl under, or detour off trail.
What's that? Is it okay or no?
I don't think I can get under there.
Okay. Golly, there's a lot of downfall up here. I see a way on the other side that might work. But maybe back here. This is the only part of hiking out here that can be a bit of a bummer, is they don't clear the trails very often when there's deadfall. And this tree, you can see the root system right there. It fell probably not long ago. We're getting, it looks like we might be able to go around the root ball.
Yeah.
Is there any way through there? All right. Wow, that's crazy. Wind knocked that puppy down. Still not back to the trail yet. We will be here in a minute though. Looks like Nat found us a way around. Oh man, holy cow, look at that. That's the bottom of that tree. Wow, that thing is massive. Okay, a little bit more. You know, backpacking it's hard work. It's work that I enjoy, but you also got to be safe about it. Climbing over dead trees with a heavy pack on could get you into trouble. So going around sometimes is the best way. We're still going around. You can see Matt up there. All right, still going. Oh man. Okay, we're not even 2 miles in yet. And this part, it sucks a little energy out of you, I'll be honest, but it's doable.
Our packs weigh right about 50 pounds each. Mostly survival gear, but just enough luxury to remind us that we're human. A few snacks, a few drinks, small comforts that somehow feel enormous once you're carrying them uphill. The weather on day one is perfect. Mid-60s, sunny, just enough breeze to keep you honest. We head down the Vacas Trail, moving deeper into the San Pedro Parks Plateau, right around 10,000 feet in elevation. This kind of terrain is deceptive. It looks easy, gentle, inviting, but mile after mile still adds up, especially when you're in your 50s, hauling a pack that feels like it has its own opinions.
Trail marker, Damien Trail. So Damien Trail's that way, and this is Vacas.
There are some backpackers in there, look at that.
Yeah, there's a tent over there too.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I've been looking forward to this trip for quite a few weeks, but I've also been kind of dreading this first day because it's the most mileage we're going to do in one day out here, and it's a lot of going up, so I'm kind of feeling it. We're 2.5, almost 3 miles in, I think. I'm gonna stop here for lunch in a little bit. Getting off trail for a minute. I think Matt found us a spot to stop for lunch. It's a beautiful day here in New Mexico. San Pedro Parks Wilderness. Yes, yes, yes. All right, dude. Nice little shady spot. This is the spot.
Got all the different videos of everybody.
Nice.
Matt was mentioning a trip he took here years ago when the rain just wouldn't stop. That experience lives on in a series of videos over on his Southwest Backpacker YouTube channel. He pulled together footage from several people who were caught in it, editing it all down into one story. It's a reminder that this place can be gentle or it can be relentless.
Yeah.
That was 2 hours.
Boy, 2 hours. I can feel my body springing back up.
I think we made it about 3 miles total.
Yeah, that feels about right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink some water, have some food, but first I'm going down to the creek to splash some water on
No
myself.
worries,
'Cause
dude.
that's too good.
Oh yeah.
What a nice sight. I can see why you like camping here, man. It's awesome. Yeah, the creek is right down here. It's flowing pretty good. As usual, crystal clear, beautiful water. Oh man, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Water good. Okay, grub bag. Seeing what all we got in here. Okay, we'll do jerky of the beef. Some cheese stickage. I got some of this in the bottom of the pack too, and crackers. So we're not quite halfway in, but not too far from that point, I think, huh?
I think we're halfway.
Are we up there? Like you said, it took us about 2 hours to get here. That's not bad for 3 miles of hiking, and there was some pretty good going up in some of those spots. All right, Matt's got this cool setup here. He's got this big bladder. Has a tube that comes out of it. He just filled it with river water that's super cold, and it is filling up his bottle nicely. He's gonna let me top off from this too, so you can see there's a Sawyer water filter right there. Sorry, it's a little out of focus, but get the idea. Quick, easy setup. Looking good. There's my bottle. So we're going to top off here right after lunch, so we have plenty more to get to where we're going. We're heading this way down the trail here in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. All right, folks, lunch is over. We're leaving the spot and we're heading down the trail. We estimate we're probably about halfway to our campsite, so maybe a couple more hours of hiking. It's about 1 p.m. right now, so we're hoping to arrive at camp around 3. All right, folks, this is some of the snow we were telling you about. Across the creek here is an ice shelf. The water has carved up underneath it. That is so cool. All right, continuing the journey down the trail side.
Okay, so when we come back, we're going to come back out this way. And we are going that way.
Nice, so we're heading up the Vacas Trail.
Somebody etched CDT
Oh, nice.
that direction, which is true.
Upper Creek and Lucero Trail. So we're going to come out this way,
Yeah,
but we're headed in this way. So this is the end of our loop.
we're doing vodka.
Vacas Trail,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Awesome, very cool. All right, I'm excited. What an adventure so far.
Yeah.
It's quiet back here. We're so far in, we're not really seeing people.
I don't see, I mean, I see footprints,
Yeah,
but not a lot.
yeah, this is pretty outstanding.
Tall pines, aspens just beginning to wake up for spring, wide park-like clearings open up between forest, letting the sunlight spill across the grass. The trail itself is in pretty good shape. Some muddy sections, a few spots where the trail turns into a shallow creek. We dance around ankle-deep water when we can, and when we can't, well, wet feet become part of the deal.
I believe we're up close to 10,000 feet now. I'm feeling the thin air for sure. Finding it hard to catch my breath, but deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Kind of breathe slowly when you can, and just keep going. 1 foot in front of the other. Before you know it, you'll be there. All right, out of the parks and back into the woods. I think we're about getting close to the 4 mile mark. Still got 2 or 3 miles left, but we're doing okay. We're well past the halfway mark, thankfully. All right, got some water coming up here. Let's see what we got. All right, not bad. Back on the trail again. All right, folks. I'm starting to feel the strain of being out here and packing some miles on this older body with a heavy pack. We're both slightly heavy on this one. We brought some luxury items that you don't necessarily need, but we wanted. So I think we're both tipping the scales about 46, 47 pounds each. Yeah. But as we eat some of the food, drink some of the liquids, pack should lighten up over the next few days. But still, I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. It'll be good to get to camp later, take this thing off and just relax. I mean, other than setting up camp, of course, but all right. Still cooking along. Trail in this part is a little covered in water. It's flowing back there like a little creek. It's all from snowmelt. That time of year. All right, folks, there's Matt. We're on a muddy trail. It's awesome. We've kind of plateaued out for now on a nice flat spot. But boy, it's muddy up here. This is so awesome to see it like this. Trail's just covered in mud and water in some spots. Like this spot coming up right here, it's pretty wet. Very awesome. Yeah, and we're up at elevation, so it's got to definitely be melting snow, huh? Yeah, trail is flooded out, so I'll go around.
Mostly though, it's just us. No crowds, no noise. Just the sounds of boot on dirt and occasional clink of trekking poles. That's the kind of hiking where conversations come easily, and silences do too. Both feel welcome. There's a moment before every trip like this where you feel the weight, not just on your shoulders, but in your mind. 50 pounds doesn't sound like much when it's sitting on the ground, but once you clip the hip belt, tighten the straps, and stand up, it becomes real. You feel it immediately. Your balance shifts, your breathing changes, your posture adjusts without asking your permission, and at 55 years old, that adjustment feels different than it used to.
Yeah, this section of the trail was really wet. I was up here in 2020. It was October. Everything was pretty dry. But, you know, I love it. Wet or dry, it's just good being out here in the wilderness with my best friend, Matt, the Southwest Backpacker. Out here with the chipmunks, the birds, the squirrels, and we're coming out of a patch of woods into another one of the famous San Pedro Parks. I mean, this is all San Pedro Parks, but it's called parks because of these little clearings up here. Okay. Back out to one of the parks. The trail is definitely underwater, so I kind of have to hike next to it. But
after about 7 miles for the day, Matt starts scanning the forest differently. This is something experienced backpackers do. You can feel it when they're close to a good spot.
all right, there's a big downhill section here. I remember coming out last time and having to do this, and horses going down this. I am happy to report when we come out a few days from now, we will not have to go back up this because we're doing a loop trail out, so we won't be on this part. This is sketchy for hiking. I don't know how they did it with horses. But yeah, in the woods, heading down to another clearing here in a minute. Another one of the famous parks. I'm gonna have to stop here a few minutes for a little break, take off this backpack and readjust a couple things. 3, 2, 1.
We're pretty damn close to camp, dude.
We are. I feel like
Yeah.
I remember all this stuff from last time. And
Yeah.
I remember I got shots of some cattle back there to the right. Yeah, I just need to readjust for the last stretch.
And 2:19.
2:19, nice. So it's still early.
I'm gonna make it before 3.
This is awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did good.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Coyote, maybe.
Oh, wow. Boy, this is spongy. I can feel the right and left foot are just, I feel just a little tiny bit of moisture on the outer part of my sock,
Okay.
but not bad. My pants are wet too. I'm in one of those spongy areas again. Looks like it'd be easy to hike through here, but it's so spongy, it's a little bit hard. Little creekage going through. I'll be out of the spongy stuff here in a minute. and back on the dry trail. All right, folks, we made it back to another trail intersection. We're getting closer and closer to camp. Matt is standing on top of a huge ice shelf. That looks so cool. Yeah, we're almost there. All right, folks, let's keep moving and get to camp. What do you say? We are literally 10 minutes from camp, maybe even a little less. We are at the Rio Las Vacas, San Pedro Parks, Rio Las Perchas trail intersection, and we're heading this way where Matt is at. I'll be curious to see how much mileage we did by the time we get to camp. 6 to 7 probably. I'll check when we get there. Just a little bit. It looks like we're turning off the main trail to head up to camp. We call this area we're going to secret camp because it's kind of a secret. You can't see it from the trail, and you have to know where it is in order to find it. There'll be one more little creek crossing here, most likely, and then we're going uphill for a while, and then the packs are coming off for the rest of the day. I'm looking forward to it. Here's the Hobbit Hole, famous Hobbit Hole, where Matt camped one time in a really good snowstorm, and he stayed down in there with his hammock and stayed dry and warm. I've been here before, 2020, I've been to this spot, but we're going up this hillside here in a minute because that's where our secret camp is at. We just got to find a way to get across the water because there's a lot more water now than there was last time we were here. Boy, look at that nice deep pool. That is awesome.
We're near the intersection of the Vacas Trail and the Anastasio Trail, but Matt leads us off the beaten path, far enough that the trail disappears, far enough that no one's going to just wander through. We call it Secret Camp, not because it's dramatic, but because it's hidden, tucked into the woods, quiet, protected.
One more little push to camp, and it is uphill, so it's a little bit of work, but it's so worth it when you get there. Okay, looks like I can get through here pretty good. Stepped in the mud, lots of it. Good times. See, if you didn't know there was a camp up here, you would never know in a million years. Matt found this by accident a few years back. All right, good to know we got plenty of water down at the bottom. Come down later and filter some for eating and drinking. Oh man. Okay. Breather. We're bushwhacking. Doesn't make going up any easier when you're on a section that's not a trail. So go slow, be careful, one foot in front of the other. Before you know it, there you are. Okay. Remember this spot from last time.
There's something deeply satisfying about earning a campsite like this. No signpost, no multiple fire rings from 100 previous visitors, only one nice campfire ring here, and just a flat patch of earth that says, you can stay here tonight.
We made it! Not bad. 2:45. Yeah, here it is. The awesome campsite from last time.
We dropped packs, and that moment never gets old. 50 pounds suddenly gone. Shoulders and back sigh in relief.
Oh yeah. Feels so good to get that off. I feel my body springing back up. All right, folks, we made it in. We are officially at camp. I'll let you know the mileage here in a little bit. I'm not 100% certain what we did. 6, 7-ish maybe. There's Matt back there. I don't see any, no, I do see some snow over there. So we even got big piles of snow up here so we can make nice ice cold drinks later. That's gonna be awesome. Oh man, it feels so good to be here and just be done for the day with the hiking, but just starting our day with the camping really. So yeah, this is great. Okay, one thing we like to do when there is snow up here, if we have any beverages, waters, or other types of drinks, we like to go down there and put our liquids in the snow, get them nice and cold. All right, it's a nice big pile right here. Look at this. And it's in the shade. So yeah, Matt's got his adult beverage in there. I'm just gonna put my water in. Get some nice ice cold water for later. There you go. All right, and then we can also dig down deep into the clean snow here and add it to our drinks if we want some slushies later. That's gonna be cool. All right, back to camp. Now, last time I camped here in 2020, you can see up there where Matt's at, I had my tent right about in here somewhere. I might do that again today because it's shaded, and if you want to take a little nap, it's always best to do that in the shade. So, all right, here he comes. More stuff for the snow.
Got some Cutwater live margaritas.
Nice.
It tastes good in the icy snow.
Sweet. All right, I ended up using my Kelty Trekker. Had this backpack for about 25 years now. It's still in good shape. But what I wanted to show you was this. My boots are wet from all the hiking today, and my pants are too. You can see. But now that we're up on dry trail again, these will start drying out pretty quickly.
Every item in that pack has a reason. Tent, stove, layers, water filter. Food we'll earn by walking through the day. Tents go up smoothly, good ground, decent tree cover, plenty of sunlight slipping through the branches to keep things warm and dry. We take time here. There's no rush. This is the reward for the miles.
All right, got the tent set up. I got my sleeping pad in there. I got to get my sleeping bag and my other gear. Got these cool tie lines here that glow in the dark. I kind of put them where my tent's tied out, so at night maybe I can see these and not trip over them. Back up here, it's Matt and his brand new tent. Got a nice colorful marmot right there. It looks nice and roomy too.
Out here, you start to appreciate small efficiencies. How smoothly something packs away. How quickly water boils. How a good, simple meal tastes when you've worked for it. The sun stays with us longer than expected, and we soak it in. Sitting quietly, talking, sometimes not talking at all. This place feels right.
Feels so good to sit in a chair with some back support.
Yeah, it does.
Thanks for talking me into bringing it, man. I'm so glad I have this. All right, folks, we are on a walkabout to get some water. We've been, yep,
Some elk droppings. And those are relatively fresh. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a couple days.
so they've been through here recently,
We have our own natural cooler out here.
which is really nice.
Our own ice block. Yeah, it's all around us.
It's just up ahead. Oh yeah, I see it.
But it gives you water. It gives you a source of water, not only snow-wise, but in the creek, you have a lot of snow runoff. So you have liquid water and you have frozen water. And yeah, if you bring a block of hard cheddar with you, you can drop it in that snow and keep it fresh. You can bring a steak up here
Nice.
and put it in the snow and keep it fresh for you. Yeah, it's all right here for us. And we're gonna walk right over it right now.
This is so cool. I remember last time we were here, we saw some grouse.
Yes,
Came right into camp.
Yeah.
Ooh, you. Oh man,
chicken.
he's post hole in there.
Yeah, we're close to it.
That's some deep snow. Whoa. So the way we came up to get here is a big steep hillside, and that's how the camp was discovered. But right behind camp, just a couple hundred feet, you can get out here. I already see water down below, so we're in good shape. We'll fill up, and we won't disturb any other campers that might be nearby. This is awesome. Me too. I'm feeling good for no good reason.
Rio Grande cut this cut and water.
Nice. Yeah, this is so nice to be able to see all this up here. I did last time we were here in 2020. I saw them swimming by. That's a pretty good.
I just saw one boat.
Nice.
Yep, they're in there. Well, this will be easy. You see all the wonderful snow drifts that we have. Each iceberg is our own natural ice cooler.
Heck yeah. Nice,
There we
dude.
go. That's enough water for both of us for tonight and tomorrow morning.
Sweet. Thank you, dude. Thanks for
Welcome.
scooping it up. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming along, man. This is a great trip.
Heck yeah. It's a beautiful day. All right, folks. We've been here for a couple hours or so. Matt's over there getting his stove going. And over here, I have mine going. We're boiling water from the creek. And we're making dinner. There's Matt's dinner for the night. And I am doing fettuccine alfredo with chicken. I haven't tried this one yet, so I'm excited to get to try it and see what it's all about. All right, fettuccine alfredo with chicken. This is what it looks like before it's rehydrated. Here in a minute, we'll be putting some of this boiling water into there. All right, folks, fast forward to a little while longer. Matt has got the campfire going. It's looking beautiful. And we're going to have dinner around the campfire.
Let's try up here.
Little last beam of sunshine coming through.
Yeah.
This is what the fettuccine alfredo with chicken looks like. And it tastes really good too. So yeah, that's awesome.
Dinner tastes better than it has any right to. Calories become currency out here. And tonight, we're rich.
Where we need to go. I want to complete this loop with you. I really do.
Tomorrow our legs are going to be jacked, dude. It's going to be a little painful.
Yeah, but we hike through that pain. We won't be in as much pain later.
I was going to say, the day after tomorrow, we are going to be craving it.
All right, folks, fast forward to a little bit later. It's now after dinner. We both had really good dehydrated meals and a nice time by the fire. You can still see the campfire's going up there. Matt's working on his pack. Here's my tent. There's birds singing. Sun's going down, so I'm definitely feeling the temperature drop, especially when you step away from the campfire. But yeah, can't complain. It's a beautiful day. Sun is going down. We didn't really have a glorious sunset. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but we're in the latter part of the evening becoming an evening, and it's just beautiful out right now. About 50 degrees probably, but with the sun going down, that temp's going to drop quicker. I'll tell you later what happens and how much temperature drop we get tonight.
As the temperature drops, the campfire comes to life. There's something ancient about a campfire in the wilderness. It slows you down, centers you. The conversation turns reflective, the way it often does when the day winds down. We talk about trips past, trips ahead, and the strange pull that places like this have on us. I start to feel it, That sense of peace. Not excitement, not adrenaline, just balance. Out here, the wilderness feels like a church, a sanctuary, a place where the noise finally shuts up long enough for you to hear yourself think. And sharing that with a good friend, someone you trust, it makes it even better.
All right, folks, the last of the campfire is going. We're retiring to our tents here in just a little bit. Gonna try to get ourselves some nice sleep. It's gonna be awesome.
We crawl into our tents, tired in the best possible way. Dry, warm, grateful. Day 1 gave us sunshine, wildlife, good miles, and a perfect hidden camp. Tomorrow will bring different lessons, but tonight, everything feels exactly as it should. Remember, folks, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other. Morning comes quietly at Secret Camp, the kind of quiet that feels heavy, in a good way. The fire from last night is nothing but ash now, and the cold has settled in overnight. Water bottles get some ice in them. We break the ice carefully, laughing at how normal this feels once you've done it a few times. This is the reality of spring in the high country. Winter hasn't quite let go yet. Breakfast is simple, efficient. Hands move a little slower in the cold, but everything works the way it should.
All right, folks, it is really nice to be out in the wilderness like this, having breakfast by a nice warm campfire. I guess our low last night was 37, so it did get cold, but it didn't get below freezing at least. And now I'm having the biscuits and gravy by Mountain House.
That's the rehydrated version there.
I also have oatmeals with me, which I really enjoy for breakfast as well, but I only have 4 of them. I'm going to save 2 for tomorrow morning and the other 2 for the last morning. And I do like this biscuits and gravy. It's really good.
I don't carry the weight the way I did 20 years ago. Back then, I thought strength meant pushing through it. Now I understand strength is listening to it. And then there are the small comforts. The extra snack, the warm drink, a little luxury that feels almost unnecessary until you're 10 miles from a road. Backpacking teaches you something simple but powerful. You can't carry everything, so you choose. You choose what matters, you leave the rest behind. Once you step onto the trail, there's no reorganizing life, no running back to grab what you forgot. You walk forward with what you decided was enough. Like a witness, it feels like the last polite nod from civilization before it steps back and lets the wilderness take over. There's a subtle shift when the trees begin to close in. The sound changes, the air feels different.
All right, folks, we've started getting some of the gear organized and packed up. We're probably going to leave here in an hour or so, start hiking to our next camp. It is a beautiful day so far. A little windy, but it's nice out. It's not freezing cold. Sun is out. Clouds are going by and they're moving really fast. And it's that time of the day where I have to wander off into the woods and find a place that I can do some restroom duties. I won't go into too much detail because we all know what has to happen. Everybody has to use the restroom a few times a day, and right now is no exception. So I'm gonna wander down in here and find my sacred spot and then head back to camp here in a little bit and finish getting packed up and get those backpacks ready to go for another day of awesomeness. All right, folks, mission accomplished. Heading back to camp to get packed up and head out here in just a little bit. All right, folks, it's time to start packing up the stuff in the tent and then pack down the tent itself. I have most of my other gear kind of ready, and this is the last pieces here, so
Tired, but I feel good. It's a nice day. It's good to be out here in the woods again.
Gear gets packed, tents disappear into backpacks like they were never here. There's a small ritual in the mornings like this. Coffee tastes better, silence feels deeper, and the body, still stiff from yesterday, takes its time waking up.
All right, folks, after working here for a little while, everything is packed up. You can see where our tents were. And I always say that a campsite looks a lot more lonely without all our gear in it. This was home for the last night, and we enjoyed it. Matt's putting out the fire, and there's not really much left going on. So we're going to be heading out. Backpacks are ready. There's mine. There's Matt's. It's going to be time to head out to the wild blue yonder. A little cloudy today, a little windy, but not bad. Not bad at all. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Here goes our single step for today. Heading down into one of the parks here and across it over to the next trail that we're going to be taking for our journey today. I'm excited. Thanks, Matt.
We're back on the Vacas Trail, heading toward the Continental Divide. The sky looks undecided. Gray one moment, blue the next. Not long into the hike, the first snow starts falling. Light at first, almost polite. It doesn't last. The wind picks up, and suddenly the snow is coming down sideways. The trail softens under our feet. Nothing dangerous, but enough to demand respect. This is the kind of weather that asks a question. Are you paying attention? Matt leads with calm confidence. No rushing, no panic, just steady forward movement and smart decisions. And just like that, almost as quickly as it started, the snow eases up. The clouds break, sunlight returns and starts melting most of it away.
Definitely colder today than yesterday. I don't think we're going to hit 60 today. We're heading down the Vacas Trail for now. Heading to the Continental Divide Trail here in a little while. Oh my goodness, this whole field is just flooded. Alright. Looks like we're going to be heading uphill here in just a minute though. So we'll be out of this marsh, wet area. Okay. Back to a almost dry trail. At least there isn't any puddles. Getting my feet wet.
Out here, weather isn't personal. It just is. The trail today is wetter than yesterday. Park areas have turned swampy.
All right, I'm hoping that once we get back in the trees, be a little less wind. It's a cold wind today, and a little bit too much of it occasionally. Okay, already I feel a difference coming in here. Way less wind. Wow, this is awesome. I'm hurting a little bit, but now that I'm up and moving, I'm starting to feel better.
Control is heavy. It takes a lot of effort to constantly push against what you cannot move. Out here, the weather reminds you that you were never really in charge to begin with. And that realization, instead of weakening you, steadies you.
Nice little pool of water there. A little waterfall, always nice. Neat. That is a cool rock. Oh, nice, dude. Wow. You weren't kidding. That is an awesome little fishing hole. Ooh, Yeah, it's deeper over here. Wow. That is awesome. If it weren't so cold, that'd be a good swimming hole too.
It's not difficult hiking, but it's honest hiking, the kind that adds up quietly over time. We don't see anyone, not for hours. There's something powerful about that kind of solitude. No voices, no footprints, just two people moving through a landscape that doesn't care who you are or where you're from. And strangely, that's comforting. Some sections are basically flowing creeks pretending to be trails. Mud clings to boots and pants. Wet feet are unavoidable.
All right, folks. Throughout my life, I have always been up for a good challenge. And I've pushed myself out of my comfort zone so many times, especially in the last 20 years, and made areas that weren't my comfort zone my new comfort zone. And growing up in the Midwest, I would have never thought I'd be out here in the wilderness backpacking, especially a guy in his mid-50s. You know, I'm feeling the challenge of being older, but not enough to stop me. It's uncomfortable a little bit, some pain, yes, but mostly really, really good. The sun wants to come out. It really does. It kind of peeks out a little bit here and there, but I don't know if it's going to come out today or not. It'd be nice if it did.
The world narrows to the trail in front of you and the person walking with you. And somewhere in that narrowing, something opens. You cross something invisible. It's not dramatic. There's no sign that says you're different now. But you are. You're no longer planning the trip. You're living it. No shortcuts, no quick exits, just forward, step by step. There's something freeing about not having to lead, about knowing the person in front of you has done the homework, studied the maps, watched the weather, walked these miles before. Leadership out here isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It just shows up in small decisions, in steady pacing, in knowing when to push and when to pause. Matt carries that kind of leadership, not the kind that dominates, the kind that steadies, the kind that teaches. And that steadiness spreads, because when you trust the person you're walking with, you walk differently, you breathe easier, you notice more. You start looking inward instead of constantly scanning outward. That's when something interesting happens. The wilderness outside begins to quiet the wilderness inside. The noise, the hurry, the unfinished thoughts. Out here, there's space for all of it to settle. And maybe that's part of why we come, not just to walk through the trees, but to see what's been walking through us.
Got a little bit of sunshine, and it feels so good. And there it goes. It was short-lived. All right, folks, we're both sitting here on a log. You can see Matt down there, he's having some water. I just had some water as well. We're a little over 2 miles into our journey today. We did really good. We did a little over 2 miles in an hour. So we're just taking a break here real quick, and we're going to continue on. We feel like we're really close to the Continental Divide Trail. So
I see signage way over there on the other side of the field, about right in there. And I think the CDT is going to connect to this trail like just around the bend here. So cheers, we made it.
all right. Once we get to the CDT, the rest of our journey, the next couple days, will be downhill. And we're looking forward to that. All right, well, that was a good little sit down break, some water, readjustment of wardrobe. And Matt says we are really close to the intersection of the CDT. I'm excited to get on it. I've been on sections of the CDT in the past, here in New Mexico and perhaps in Colorado, but haven't done a lot of it. So it's always fun to get to be on part of it, because I've wanted to do, Appalachian Trail, CDT, Pacific Coast Trail, all those things since I was young. I've always wanted to do those. So there's like a romance to it for me of getting to be on sections of it, even if I can't hike all of it. Hike parts, which I enjoy. All right, folks. Made it to another trail intersection here, as you can see. We are heading to the left, this way. All right, the first part of the CDT was buried under a few feet of snow still, so we had to go around it in this marshy sort of area. Feet are getting wet, boots are soaked, but we're in a nice dry spot now, which is beautiful. I tell you, the wind out here is making the hike a little tougher. Hopefully we'll be back in the woods soon.
We spot elk again today. Strong, alert, completely at home. Birds flit through the trees. Small critters dart across the trail, quick and curious. It reminds you that even when you feel alone, you're not. You're just a guest. The miles pass smoothly. My body feels good, strong, capable. I'm aware of my age, but not limited by it. That feels like a small victory.
Still some pretty good piles of snow back here, and everything down in these parks is swampy. The trails are flooded. You're walking on this dead grass here and it's just squishing under your feet. I'm glad to see it, to be honest with you. It's always nice to have a lot of moisture up here, so fire danger is a lot less.
After about 5 or 6 miles, Matt slows down. We're close to the Continental Divide Trail now.
All right. This looks like we might be in our spot for tonight. Oh yeah, always feels good. Take it off. Awesome, guys, very cool. Look what the winds do up here sometimes. Just broke that tree off at the base. Wow, that's a decent sized tree. So yeah, we're gonna migrate from where we took our packs off, come back up here a little further. Feeling like we got a nice spot, very private, away from the trail. Okay, the first spot was okay, but we did some digging around here and wandering, and we found another spot that we think is a little better. So we're heading back to that with our packs and our gear. And the sun's coming back out. It's really turning out to be a beautiful day.
We find a solid campground near the CDT. Dry ground, decent tree cover, enough sun breaking through to keep us warm. We call it CDT Camp. There's something meaningful about being this close to such a legendary trail. A ribbon of footprints stretching from Mexico to Canada. It makes our little journey feel both small and connected to something much bigger. Afternoon, chasing the sun. Tents go up quickly. Efficiency born from repetition. We sit in the afternoon sun, wherever it shows itself, soaking up every bit of warmth. Snowflakes still drift through now and then, but they don't linger. Cold air, warm sun, a strange but beautiful balance.
All right, folks, we're officially at camp for day number 2. You can see back here behind me is where the tents are at. It's a beautiful spot. It's been crazy windy though, and the sun has been coming and going, but when the sun is out, it feels glorious. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take Matt's water bladder. I'm gonna hike down to the water area and just get that thing filled up for tonight. So you wanna go along with me? Come on, let's go. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And I'm into a few more steps of it right now. All right, heading down to the water source. But also down here at the water source is the Continental Divide Trail. Very famous trail, goes from Mexico to Canada. Glad to get to be on a section of it today and tomorrow. This place is amazing. I bet if I was up here another month from now, everything would probably be really green and flowers everywhere. Technically, it's still kind of winter camping at this point. All right, here we go. Signage. You got the San Jose Trail and the Vacas Trail. And up here we have San Jose Trail, Los Pinos Trail, and the Continental Divide Trail, which we will be taking this direction tomorrow. Our camp is up here somewhere in the woods, and the Continental Divide Trail goes through here. Apparently you just follow these posts here, and that's, the trail is not real well worn back here, so it's hard to see it. So you just kind of follow the post and keep going. We'll be on it tomorrow for about another 2 miles. So you can see Matt's tent back up in there. They're bright yellow and orange, but just barely. You see, if you back out the camera, you see how far back there we really are. So there you go. All right, I found a pretty good pool of water here. If I can get to it without getting my feet too much more soaked. But nice and deep, clean looking. Let's see if I can scoop some water out of that.
Water gets filtered.
Okay, I'm climbing back up the hillside, but it's very exposed. So I stopped here in these trees for a minute, catch my breath, because we're at 10,500, but also I'm going uphill, and this water, it's heavy. So, and my fingers are so cold. It's so cold outside, and I just dipped both my hands in the really cold river water. So hanging out here in the trees for a second to warm up, and then I'll continue back up to camp. Okay, back out of the woods and into the wind. Ooh, boy, is that cold.
There's something about weather that strips away illusion. When the snow starts coming sideways, when the wind pushes against you hard enough to lean into it, you feel how small you are. Not in a frightening way, just honestly. The landscape doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't threaten. It doesn't perform. It simply continues. And you adjust.
All right, made it back to camp. Awesome. It's really nice to see the blue skies today. That classic New Mexico blue. All right, folks, fast forward to a couple hours later. We're here at camp hanging out, and you can see we got snow. It's not real bad, but it is getting a little bit heavier, so it's all part of the adventure. We're kind of curious to see where this is going to take us. We have a feeling it'll probably dissipate here in a little bit, but yeah, we're getting snow here in San Pedro Parks. It's awesome. It's all part of the adventure. Wow, this is getting intense.
You realize that strength isn't dominance, it's adjustment. It's staying present when conditions aren't ideal. It's continuing forward without resentment. It's knowing the difference between discomfort and danger. There's a quiet confidence in that, not the kind that boasts, not the kind that posts about it, the kind that endures.
We didn't expect this till tomorrow, but this is awesome. We'll see if it accumulates here in a little bit, but so far it seems to be melting off. Wow. Let's see what temperature it is. Ooh, 34 degrees. 2 degrees above freezing. Look at that, folks. It's still snowing and the sun's coming out.
The sky, James, is blowing around up there.
Oh, wow. This is so magical. It's so cool. Sunshine and snow.
Impressive. Wow.
In normal life, we control so much. Temperature, schedule, lighting, noise. We move through spaces built for comfort. If it's too hot, we cool it. Too cold, we warm it. Too loud, we close a door. Out here in the wilderness, comfort isn't guaranteed. The sky decides, the wind decides, the clouds gather whether you're ready or not. The trail doesn't adjust for your mood, and that's humbling. There's a part of the ego that wants to negotiate, wants to think, this wasn't supposed to be like this. We picked the wrong weekend, or this is inconvenient. But the wilderness doesn't inconvenience you. It simply exists. The snow isn't personal. The mud isn't unfair. The cold isn't a punishment. It's just reality.
Dinner plans are discussed like strategy meetings. Out here, comfort is intentional.
And when you stop resisting that reality, something shifts. You stop fighting the conditions. You stop wishing for a different sky. You stop arguing with what is. You adapt. You pull your hood tighter. You adjust your layers.
Look at that.
Yummy. And I got a boil. Sap.
It's the Robia. All right, folks, the weather has been changing off and on all day, but now it's a little later. I believe it's past 7, and there's just a hint of sunlight peeking through the clouds, and it's a refreshing, beautiful sight. Plus, pine trees are awesome. Can't help myself with the pine trees. They're beautiful. So yeah, just the last bit of sunshine coming through. You can see just on the top of the trees there.
You breathe a little slower so you don't rush. The rhythm changes. And in that change, you begin to notice something deeper.
The campfire burns bright tonight. We need it. The cold settles in fast once the sun dips below the trees. Temperatures slide into the 30s. Conversations turn thoughtful, less talking about miles, more talking about why. This place feels sacred, a sanctuary where noise doesn't survive, where the distractions fall away and you're left with whatever you've been carrying inside. I feel peaceful here, grounded, balanced between nature and humanity. This is the kind of quiet that restores you.
All right, folks, back in the tent, kind of getting ready for bed. Got my lighting going on here. It's going to be crash out time real soon. We're wrapping it up for the night. Got my trusty thermometer up here. It says it was 33 degrees the last time I checked. And that feels about right to me as well. So I'm in the tent. Gonna crash out here, get some sleep. Because tomorrow we have to pack up and do it all over again. But we're going to be hiking down this time. We're not going to be doing any uphill stuff. So that'll make life a little easier. It's been an interesting day with the snow and the sun and the wind and the adventure. It's snowing once again. Yeah, I'm definitely hearing some snow, maybe not flakes, like more like snow pellets coming down on the rainfly. It's been spotty all day like this, so we might wake up to some snow on the ground in the morning. It's very possible. All right, take care, folks, and as usual, love, hate. Take care of each other. All right, good morning, folks. Welcome back to another James Blackburn experience. Today is day 3 of our San Pedro Wilderness adventure. And as you can see on the ground, we got a little bit of snow last night while we were sleeping. It's just barely enough to cover the ground, but it was really kind of peaceful and nice. I was sleeping in my toasty sleeping bag in this tent, really enjoying being tucked down in there last night because it got down to about 30 degrees. And yeah, we did it. We stayed the night. You can see where the snow didn't go because of the rain fly. And a little bit of snow on top of the tent. It's definitely chilly out this morning for sure, but it's not horrible. Very survivable. All right. And that campfire is looking mighty awesome. All right, some blue skies. Clouds are moving super fast. I'm hoping that this will burn off and we'll have some nice sunshine today, because since it's going to be colder, the sun will be feeling particularly nice, I bet. I don't think the snow on the ground is going to last very long. It'll probably melt off at some point today, but yeah, beautiful.
Day 3. The trail that changes you. Morning breaks slowly at CDT camp. The kind of morning where cold lingers, even after the sun rises.
Man, oh man, I'm really hoping the sun keeps coming out and that it gets nice and sunny and warm today. That would be like the best thing in the world. That sun's trying to come out and stay out. All right, this says 31 degrees. Just a smidge under freezing. Hopefully it'll get a little warmer today than that. That's why I'm really hoping that sun will come out and stay out, because we need that extra warmth today. Now don't get me wrong, folks, I'm not complaining. I'm here for the adventure, whatever type of weather may come or not come. It's all awesome. I love it. But it's always nicer if it's warm, at least a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave the warmth of the campfire and head back here into the woods to take care of some morning duties. I mentioned this yesterday. We all have to go to the restroom occasionally, so I'm going to go back here and find my spot and then head back to the warmth of that awesome campfire. And then it's oatmeal time afterwards, because I'm going to have some breakfast. Oh man, feels so much better now. All right, back to camp for some breakfast, and then pack up and head down the trail.
Out here, the miles don't care about your resume. They don't care about what you've accomplished or what you're still chasing. They just ask you to keep walking.
All right, folks, I just learned a valuable lesson. Don't wander too far away from camp in the woods when there's no landmarks nearby. I am lost right now. I've been lost for a good 15 minutes. And then I realized I have with me the Garmin device. It's in my pocket. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna look up my campsite I marked yesterday on the map, and that should take me back to where I need to go. But yeah, I got a little nervous there for a bit. Let's see if the Garmin brings me back. Okay, thank goodness. Using that map got me unlost. Camp is just up ahead, and I'm gonna sit down, have some water, some oatmeal, kind of rest and recuperate, and then it'll be breaking down of gear time. But I'll tell you, when you wander off to go to the bathroom in the morning, don't wander so far that you lose sight of your camp, because it's easy in the woods, especially when you're in the highest elevation. There's no landmarks around for you to find your way back. It's just epic amount of forest everywhere, and it all starts looking the same. So, all right, made it back.
Breakfast is quiet today. Not heavy silence, just a comfortable one.
All right, there you go, folks. Classic maple and brown sugar oatmeal. I'm having a couple of these this morning. And after breakfast, I will start getting everything packed up. It's really turning into a beautiful day again. All right, folks, this is not time lapse. That's how fast the things are moving above us right now. That is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
The night was cold, below freezing, but we stayed dry and warm. That matters. Good shelters, good decisions. My body feels the miles now. Not pain, just awareness. This trip isn't about pushing hard. It's about moving honestly. And so far, I feel good.
All right, folks. There's almost no better feeling for me than waking up in the mountains and enjoying some breakfast around a campfire. This is just absolutely amazing. It's definitely colder today than the other days, but the sun's coming out, and once we get hiking, you always feel hot anyway, so the cooler weather might come in handy. All right, folks, here's my backpack hanging from the tree all night. It's in pretty good shape. It didn't get wet. I have it open because sleeping bag is going to go in here, and I'm going to start getting everything packed in because we're going to get out and on the trail here in just a little bit. Meanwhile, over here, Matt is getting the water filter working. The pipe froze overnight. Hopefully, if not, we have a backup pump filter if we need it.
Oh, we're dripping.
So, all right, there you go. All right, folks, so I'm going to get off camera here for a little bit and just get some work done because there's a lot of stuff to pack up and get ready, and we really want to get to our next camp today because the weather's not perfect, and we're going to get moving here in just a little bit. Not quite packed up yet, but getting closer. Matt's over here getting on some fresh, clean socks, and he's really enjoying it. So about another 10 minutes, I'll probably have everything packed up and ready to go. That's my goal.
We pack up and head out, aiming for another 5 or 6 miles. The sky looks familiar now. Gray, layered, unpredictable.
All right, folks, while we were packing up a few minutes ago, it started coming down like tons and tons of snow. But I was so focused on getting this pack ready, I didn't stop to get a shot. But we suspect as we're hiking today, we'll see some more snow along the way. We're about to say goodbye to this awesome campsite. This was a great place to spend some hours, definitely. All right, onward down the Continental Divide Trail here in just a few minutes. All right, folks, to demonstrate how much snow came down a minute ago, this ground didn't have snow on it. It had melted away, and now it's covered again. So yeah, it was a quick burst there, and we're excited to get to be a part of it still. It's going to be an awesome day. What a beautiful place to be. All right, folks, there's where my tent was. You can't even see the spot anymore because it snowed again. But we are taking our first steps of the day. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and here we go. Heading down to the CDT right now, and then down through the wilderness for a while. It's going to be great.
Snow starts again. Not immediately heavy, but persistent. Flakes gather on our packs, hats, shoulders, boots crunch, and then squish. The wind picks up, and for a while, the snow comes in hard, sideways, relentless. Visibility narrows. The world shrinks to a small circle around you. It's not dangerous, but it's demanding. This is the kind of hiking that requires presence. Matt stays steady up front, checking pace, watching conditions, leading without saying much, and that calm spreads.
Well, that's a big chunk of ice. All right, the CDT in San Pedro Parks does not disappoint. This is amazing. All right, the type of snow just changed. Up above, when we were a little higher up, it was like pellets. Now it's more like flakes than pellets. Yeah, this is neat. There he is, Southwest Backpacker. Another awesome day here, man. So that other camp spot's up here somewhere?
Our camp is right over here. Yeah, this is it right here. I can see the fire ring.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we weren't far from it at all.
Yeah.
But I agree the spot we were at's a little bit better than this. Yeah, it's all torn up, but still usable.
Step after step, breath after breath. Somewhere along those quiet miles, the noise inside you starts to thin out. You begin to notice what remains. The fears you don't talk about, the doubts that show up in silence, the parts of yourself that only surface when there's nowhere left to hide. The wilderness within, it's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's just subtle honesty. Out here, I'm not trying to be the strongest version of myself. I'm just trying to be the truest. Snow falls, wind pushes, feet stay wet, and still we walk.
Quick water break here on the CDT. It's pretty awesome. Really loving this adventure. It's really, really cool. See how snowy it is in the forest, these big snow drifts. But then you look to my right, you got this little park here where it's just greenery. It's so much diversity up here. It's awesome. I love it.
I realize something. Change doesn't always arrive as a breakthrough. Sometimes it's just a soft adjustment, a slower reaction, a calmer mind, a little more gratitude. Maybe being changed in good ways isn't about becoming someone new. Maybe it's about shedding what you don't need anymore. The hurry, the proving, the noise, and keeping what remains, steadiness, perspective, friendship.
Some parts of the trail there is deadfall, and it's almost impossible to get over or under it. So you kind of bushwhack around it and get back to the trail as quickly as possible. You don't want to stray too far from the trail because you could lose it. But here we are, There's the blockage, and here is the trail. Some parts of the trail are flooded out, and there's actually like a little creek running down it. But you kind of go around this, don't get your feet too wet. And then you can see Matt's heading up into the sunshine there.
Then, unexpectedly, I see two figures moving toward me. Two men in their 70s, walking the Continental Divide Trail. We stop and talk for a bit. Pack still on, sunshine collecting on our shoulders. They're weathered, calm, smiling. They tell stories about the CDT, about long miles, hard days, and moments of clarity that come when you're out here long enough. I tell them it's something I want to do someday, that the idea keeps calling me. One of them looks at me and says, "It'll change you, in good ways." He talks about spiritual moments, about finding something deeper out here that's hard to explain, but impossible to forget. They move on, disappearing back down the trail like something imagined. But their words stay. It'll change you, in good ways. And the wilderness has done that for me many times. Changed me, in good ways.
I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's steam coming off the earth just from the humidity. It's really neat. We are heading down this way, still on the CDT, but that'll change here in a few minutes. All right, we're up at a trail junction. Matt was saying, oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah, you can see a road way down there, but I don't know if it picks up on camera or not, but this is where we're at. Los Pinos Trail to the right, Lucero Trail, and Anastasio?
Anastasio.
Is that the one we're taking now?
I like to call it anesthesia.
Anesthesia. That's the one we're heading down though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
The trail continues. Wet, muddy, my feet stay wet. There's no fixing that. But I don't feel frustrated, just present. I start thinking about change, about how places like this strip things down to what matters. Out here, titles don't mean anything. Neither do schedules or excuses. There's just the next step and the person walking with you.
All right, a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of snow, creekage. I see where Matt's going. He's heading up there to jump over. So yeah, this is awesome. All right, I'm gonna head up there and do the same. Looks like he jumped about here-ish. Looks good to me. All right. Did you talk to those guys that went by?
No, I just said good morning.
Yeah, we stopped and talked for a minute. They're thru hikers. They started in April down in Mexico. Matt spotted some elk up here in the woods. Let's see if we can spot him or not. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. Elk are very sneaky. All right, we stopped to take a little break here. We've been hiking pretty steadily. You see my backpack's right there. Some nice water source down here. Beautiful, just a beautiful, outstanding spot. So Matt has it on a map here. approximately where we're at.
We're there, that little triangle, right?
Yep.
Triangle, and we're gonna head to right in there.
Nice.
All that white is open flat area, so we're gonna be in the flats. Hoping maybe we'll find a spot we can tuck ourselves into the forest.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, we're not even a mile away. So.
I'll drink to that. Oh my God. Cold, filtered creek water. Absolutely amazing. All right. This is a nice little stopping spot right here. We had some sun there again for a few minutes, hoping it was going to come back out. But we're just stopping here for about 5 minutes. And Matt showed us on the map we're about a mile away or so from where we're going to start looking for a campsite. So we've done just a little over 4 miles so far in 2 hours. Awesome. Very cool. All right, folks. Our break is over. Crossing the creek. Heading back up the trail. Just as the sun's coming out. Awesome. All right, folks. It's been some rough miles every day we've been here because all the parks are all spongy marshes right now, almost like a swamp, and it's hard to walk in this wet stuff. It really is. But in between the wet stuff, there's occasional dry spaces, so we're gonna have wet feet today no matter what we do. But we're almost to camp, so we can get dried out, set up for the evening. Surprisingly nice out considering how much snow we got earlier. All right, folks. Time to get real and just say what I'm feeling. This is day number 3 of 4 out here. We're going on about 15, 16 miles hiked. I'm tired, I'm achy, but I'm happy. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part of all this. Nature just blows me away every single time.
Out here, the weather humbles you gently. It doesn't break you, it refines you. It sands down the sharp edges of ego, the kind that keeps walking when the snow thickens, when your boots are wet, when the wind keeps pressing against your chest. The need to be right, the need to be comfortable, the need to win against something. Because there's nothing to win against. There's only movement.
All right, folks, we made it to another one of the parks. This one's huge as well. We're looking around the perimeter up in the trees to find a campsite. So we're at that part of our day where camping will happen soon. All right, Matt's heading up in there to the woods. See if we can find anything that's somewhat dry and not spongy. That's awesome. So cool. You don't get to see them laying down very often.
You stop measuring the day by how closely it matched your expectations. You start moving with it. Snow falling, boots wet, miles ahead. And somehow in that surrender, in that quiet acceptance, you feel steadier than before. Not bigger, not tougher, just aligned.
The snow intensifies again in the afternoon. Visibility drops, temperatures fall. It feels close to a blizzard.
Oh boy, we better find a campsite soon. The weather's changing again for the worse. I tell you what, folks, it turned into a real snowstorm again, as you can see. Really coming down good, especially out there in the canyon area. You can really see it's coming down. So we're gonna set up camp. We found ourselves a pretty nice spot, so we're gonna try to get set up and get out of this weather. All right, folks, we're gonna try to make this our little bit of real estate back here tonight, and gonna get set up and out of this weather. Get some dry shoes and socks on, because man, look at those boots, they got soaked today.
Tents go up fast. No lingering, no debate. Hands are cold. Snow collects everywhere, but the systems work. Shelters stand, gear stays dry. Once the work is done, we breathe again. There's no perfect option today, no hidden gem, no postcard view. We find a workable spot and commit to it. We don't name it. Not really. It's just no name camp. Not optimal, but sufficient. And sometimes that's enough. The snow eases up, like it's satisfied it made its point.
Man, oh man, what a difference a few minutes makes. It's still snowing, but the sun is out. The snow is lightening up, and we're set up. So if it snows again, we have shelters ready to go. All right, all that crazy snow, and now blue skies again. It's been kind of like this all day. Just hit or miss with the storms, hit or miss with the blue skies. But it's beautiful either way. I love it. All right, folks, I got in my tent, snuggled down in my sleeping bag, and got about a 2-hour nap. Felt amazing because it's still windy and cold out, it's still snowing. So being in the warm sleeping bag was absolutely wonderful. All right, it's been so cold out that a campfire has been necessary every day, and we're just out gathering some firewood now and keep that thing going until we go to bed. All right, folks, it's getting later in the day. The sun is going to be setting here in a little bit, and the conditions seem like they're okay with some puffy white clouds and some blue skies for us to have an amazing sunset. So I'm going to pop out there in a little bit. We're still maybe 45 minutes from complete sunset, but when the time is right, I'll try to jump out there and get some shots. Just right now, keeping warm by the campfire because it's been cold all day long and snowy a lot, but now it's cleared up again, so you never know what you're going to get when you're out here in the wilderness. Still a lot of snow back here. You can see these piles here around the trees. Some of that snow's over 3 feet tall. So I wonder how much was out here a month ago in the rest of the parks, because down here in the park area, most of it's melted off if there's no shade, but last bit of that sunshine on top of the trees. All right, heading out here to check out the last of the sunset. Oh boy, it's cold out here. Gonna get down in the 20s tonight. So I'm gonna hunker down in that tent, deep down in my sleeping bag, and just try to stay as warm as I can. There you go, San Pedro Parks at sunset, day number 3. Way colder out here in the open than it is back in the trees. That much is clear. Brrr. Let's head back up into the trees. Whew. Boy, it is chilly out there. That breeze. Oh. Alright, well, back here's our campsite. See both our tents there. And We got our little campfire experience back here keeping us warm. Boy, it is chilly out there. Very, very chilly out there. Whew.
When he said it'll change you in good ways, he didn't say it like advice. He said it like fact, like someone who had already walked far enough to know. There's something powerful about hearing that from a person in their 70s, still carrying a pack, still moving north, still choosing the long trail. At this point in my life, I think about age differently than I used to. When you're younger, you hike to prove something, to test yourself, to push your limits. Now, I hike understanding something, to listen. There's a difference between endurance and ego. Ego says, how far can I go? Endurance asks, how steady can I be?
All right, folks, this has been our little living room area, and it's helping keep us warm. It has been really chilly out today. It's super, super nice to have something like this. I can't tell you how great this feels. You probably already know we've all felt a campfire in our lives, and when it's cold out, it's even better. All right, folks, this has been an eventful day. It's been beautiful. It's been a little scary a couple times with the snow, but none of it lasted that long, and it's been a real adventure, I'll say that. I've really enjoyed being out here and just being part of San Pedro Parks Wilderness with my good friend Matt, the Southwest Backpacker. So Matt, thank you once again for bringing me along on this awesome adventure. And here in a little bit, we are going to go crawl up in some sleeping bags and get a good night's sleep. It's supposed to be really cold in the morning, so we'll have to be bundled up, but tomorrow's the last day. We'll be hiking out, heading back to town, and getting some quality food down in Cuba, so that's gonna be great. Oh man, it's so glorious. I love it.
The campfire burns, but it fights the cold night. We stay close to it. Dinner is warm and filling, and that feels like a gift. The conversation is quieter this evening, thoughtful.
All right, folks, that's about all she wrote. I'm gonna head over to the tent, call it a night.
I think about the CDT hikers, about being changed in good ways, and I realize I already am. This place has been a church for me, a sanctuary where the noise falls away.
Showing 31 degrees in here, but when I first got in, it was showing 28, which is probably a much more true reading for what's going on outside. I can see my breath. It's definitely cold, but I'm going to be in my sleeping bag here in a few minutes and I'll be in good shape. All right, folks, day 3 was intense. Lots of snow, lots of wind, lots of weather, but still enjoyed every moment of it. Back in the tent now, gonna get some shut-eye, and then tomorrow we hike out.
I feel peace here, a balance between human effort and natural order, and sharing that with a good friend, someone steady and kind, makes it deeper.
So I'm gonna say goodnight here, and as usual, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other. All right, good morning, folks. Welcome back to another James Blackburn experience. Today is day 4 of 4 San Pedro Parks Wilderness backpacking adventure. It's still pretty early, got pretty cold last night, and we're happy to have a little campfire going to warm us up because it got down in the 20s last night.
There's a strange quiet that follows a trip like this. Not the silence of the forest, a different kind. The kind that settles in after you've walked long enough to remember what steady feels like. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention. It just arrives gently. 8 miles back to the trailhead doesn't feel heroic. It feels reflective. Every step carries a little more awareness. Not urgency, not finish line energy, just awareness.
Morning arrives quietly at No Name Camp. No snow falling now, just cold. There's a different energy in camp this morning. Not rushed, not heavy, just aware. This is our last day out here. 7 miles back to San Gregorio Lake, and then 1 more mile back to the trailhead for a total of 8 miles.
All right, folks, I'm heading down to fill up the bladder with some of the river water down here. I understand the river's frozen over. The creek, river, whatever you want to call it, it's frozen over because it was so cold last night. So I may have to break some ice to do that, but that's okay. It's all part of it. It's all part of the adventure, yeah. Right, it's definitely frozen over. And it is cold out here, man. It is cold out here, can't breathe.
Water is frozen again. We break through the ice one last time, hands numb, but practiced.
All right, got some water boiling here. This is directly out of the creek, non-filtered, but when you boil it, it makes it safe. So I am gonna have myself some oatmeal and some hot chocolate this morning on our last day here at San Pedro Parks Wilderness. All right, folks, got the oatmeal all ready to go and chowing down for some breakfast. Enjoying this fine morning. Nice and sunny outside. A little bit windy again, but it's not snowing and windy, which is going to make our journey a little easier. And we'll be hiking out here in about 90 minutes. We'll probably head out of this spot. It's definitely a beautiful morning. A little cold, a little breezy, but beautiful nonetheless. Just look at that. Okay, it's my turn to wander off and find my sacred spot for the morning rituals. And then I'll head back to camp and I will pack up everything and we'll start hiking out. We got about 6-7 miles out today, so it's going to be a long hike, but I'm pretty much ready mentally for that and hopefully physically. It's kind of neat. Everything's frozen right now. The ground is frozen, so I'm not walking in water for once. That's kind of nice. All right. Mission accomplished on the morning duties. I feel much better. And this was my view. All right, it's time to start breaking down some of this gear. Yes, yes, yes.
Gear packs up smoothly. No wasted movement. By now, we know exactly where everything goes. I take one last look around this camp. It wasn't perfect, but it held us. And sometimes, that's all you need.
All right, folks. I say this every time, but campsite looks a lot more lonely without the tents in it. But we're all packed up. We'll be heading out of here in a few minutes. We have water. We're filling up with Matt's filter over there, as you can see. So we'll have water for drinking on the way out. And then we're going to be heading down the trail here in just a few minutes. All right, day number 4, San Pedro Parks Wilderness Adventure. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and we're about 20 steps into it today.
We start hiking early. The trail feels familiar now, like it knows us. Snow from the night before clings to shaded sections, but the sun starts doing its work. Blue sky pushes past the clouds again. The mileage today is longer, but the pace feels steady, comfortable. My body is tired, but capable.
Very cool. All right. It's turning out to be a pretty nice day so far. This is really cool. Sun feels great.
The packs feel lighter now, not just because the gear weighs less, but because we understand it better. We've adjusted to the weight. Our shoulders know it, our hips know it, our stride has learned it. There's something honest about that. Blisters form near the end, hot spots turning into reminders, and I don't resent them. They're proof that the miles were real, that the effort mattered, that nothing was borrowed. Discomfort has a way of marking you, and sometimes that mark is exactly what you need, a quick reminder that you showed up.
Another one of those sections where every footstep squishes with water. Just try to find the solid stuff. Hope you don't get your feet too soaked. Wow.
Speed replaces pace. Distance replaces presence. And I notice something small. My breathing is slower. My thoughts aren't racing ahead to what's next. They're not jumping to schedules or notifications or unfinished tasks. They're just here, settled. Maybe that's the gift. Not transformation, not revelation, just recalibration. A reminder that steadiness exists and that it's something you can return to. 4 days, 25 miles, miles through snow, through mud, through quiet stretches where it felt like we were the only two people left moving across the plateau, and somehow a little lighter than we started, not because we left anything behind, but because we chose what to keep. The trail ends, but the wilderness, the one outside and the one inside, does not. It waits, and when the noise builds again, it will still be there. It didn't remove the noise of the world, it reminded us that we don't have to carry all of it all the time. And maybe that's the shift. Not becoming someone new, but remembering who you are without all the extra weight.
Almost fell. That sucked.
There's a specific feeling when you know a trip is nearing its end. Not relief, not quite sadness either. It's something in between. You start noticing details differently. The way the light hits the trees, the rhythm of your steps, the sound of your pack shifting when you move. 4 days ago, every step felt like a departure. Today, every step feels like a return. And return carries weight of its own. You begin to replay moments. The first snowfall, the sound of elk moving through the trees. That sentence on the trail, it'll change you in good ways. You realize the journey isn't just forward, it's circular, and you're already beginning to carry it home.
All right, I think we got our first mile out of the way this morning because we're just about looped back to where we camped on the first night, which is pretty cool. 6 more miles to go, unfortunately, but 1 down, 6 to go. Most of it's downhill though, thankfully. So we figure we'll do those 6 in 3 hours probably. Okay, up here is a trail marker and our turnoff. All right. So if we continue forward, it's the Palomas Trail. To the right is the Vacas Trail, and Gregorio Lake, or San Gregorio Lake, which is where we're heading for, because San Gregorio Lake is only 1 mile from the parking lot. So yeah, excited to be here, but also excited to be done. Here's a good spot across. Not quite as wide, maybe.
By now, the body tells the truth. Shoulders are tired, feet are tender, blisters forming in places you hope they wouldn't. There's no pretending at this stage. The miles have had their say, and strangely, I welcome that. There's something grounding about physical effort. In everyday life, fatigue often comes from noise, from screens, from schedules, from constant motion. Out here, fatigue feels honest. You can trace it. 25 miles, snow, mud, cold mornings. The body doesn't complain. It simply reports. And that reporting feels clean. Earned tiredness is different than restless tiredness. It doesn't drain you. It settles you. Spiritually, there's a quiet recalibration happening. It's subtle. Nothing dramatic, no lightning bolt realization, just a slow remembering. The wilderness didn't fix anything. It didn't solve life, but it reminded me what steady feels like. It reminded me that most noise is optional, that hurry is often self-imposed, that peace isn't something you find, it's something you allow.
Yeah, the going up always gets me. Even when it's gradual.
As the trail widens and the trees begin to thin, I feel gratitude more than anything. Gratitude for the weather, even the hard parts. Gratitude for strong legs, gratitude for walking with someone steady and kind, and gratitude for the chance to step away long enough to see things clearly. There's a quiet understanding in the final miles. You don't rush them. You let them happen, because endings deserve attention too.
One more last steep up section here, and it's getting me. But after this, it should be relatively flat or downhill. So I'm looking forward to that. Almost there. Last few steps. Okay. Almost there. All right, I got up to the top of that section. Man, it got me a little bit, but still out of breath, but I'm on top. I see Matt's fresh footprints in the dirt ahead of me, so I'll catch up with him here in a couple of minutes.
By the fourth day, the rhythm of the trail feels familiar. Your body has learned the pattern. Step, breathe, step again. The pack settles into your shoulders like it belongs there now. At the beginning of a trip like this, everything feels new. The weight feels heavy, the trail feels long. Your mind is still halfway back in the world you left behind. But somewhere along the way, something shifts. You stop thinking about the miles. You stop wondering how far it is to the next bend in the trail. Instead, you just walk. And when that rhythm takes over, the trail starts to feel less like a challenge and more like a conversation, one step at a time. One of the quiet gifts of a trip like this is conversation. Not constant talking, just the kind that comes naturally when two people are walking side by side for hours. Some conversations are light, stories from the past, ideas for the next adventure. Others drift into deeper territory, about life, about getting older, about the strange ways the trail seems to put things into perspective. There's something about walking that makes honesty easier. Maybe it's the movement, maybe it's the silence around you, or maybe it's just the understanding that out here, there's no need to impress anyone. Just two people walking through the woods, talking when it feels right, and letting the silence do the rest. Eventually, the forest begins to change. The trail widens a little. The trees open up just enough to hint that the edge of wilderness isn't far away. You start recognizing places you passed days earlier. The same bend in the trail, the same fallen tree, but the feeling is different now. When you first walked past these places, everything ahead felt unknown. Now the unknown is behind you, and the familiar world is waiting just a few miles away. There's a quiet appreciation in that moment, not a rush to leave, but an understanding that journeys like this are temporary by design. You step away from the world for a while so that you can return a little clearer. The last miles of a trip always carry a certain kind of awareness. You know the end is close, but you also know that the memories of these miles will last far longer than the walk itself. The snow, the quiet camps, the conversations beside the campfire, all of it becomes part of the story you carry forward.
Oh my goodness, this trail, it's super muddy in spots. Squish it in. Okay, back at another trail intersection. We're going this way, but you can go to the right, and it is the upper Clear Creek and Lucero trails are that way. But we're heading down the Vacas Trail, which is this way.
A final mile of a trip like this carries its own kind of quiet. You can feel the end approaching before you see it. The trail starts to look familiar again. The turns in the path begin to ring a bell. Small landmarks you barely noticed 4 days ago suddenly feel like old friends. Your body knows the work is nearly done. The pack still weighs almost the same, but somehow it feels lighter now. Maybe because the miles have already been earned. 4 days ago, we stepped onto this trail not knowing exactly what the journey would hold. Snow, mud, cold mornings, warm campfires, moments of laughter, moments of quiet reflection, and a reminder that the wilderness has a way of shoving you down just enough to see things clearly again. Now the trailhead waits just ahead. The world we stepped away from is still there, but something inside has shifted, even if only for a little. And that's enough, because sometimes the purpose of a journey isn't to escape the world, it's to return to it a little steadier than before.
Here's a spot we're going to depack for a little bit, have some snacks, some drinks, some rest. All right, folks, we are about 4 or 5 miles out from camp. We got about 3 miles left, but Matt and I are here in the field soaking up this beautiful sunshine. We're able to take the packs off for a few minutes and just rest up, and then we're going to push the last 3 miles out, and it's going to be awesome. I have to say, this has really honestly been a great trip, and to end on a day when the sun feels warm and the skies are blue. Wow. All right, that was a good break, man.
Yeah. Yeah, needed that.
Yeah, that was good. I realized I didn't take ibuprofens this morning, so since I just ate, I took some. That should help. I definitely feel like the bottom of both feet might be blistering.
Yeah.
But it felt like that every day we were out here, and then when we got to camp, it went away. So I'm thinking it'll probably go away tonight without actually blistering, because I felt like I got close, but it never made its way there. So
"4 days ago, we stood at the edge of this place and made a quiet agreement to slow down, to carry only what mattered, to step forward without knowing exactly what the trail would give back. We crossed an invisible line, and today we stepped back across it. I realized something. The threshold was never just outside there. It was inside as well. And maybe the real crossing wasn't into the wilderness. Maybe it was into ourselves."
Somewhere along the way, I start feeling hot spots on my feet, blisters forming, a reminder that 25 miles with the 50-pound pack leaves a mark. I don't fight it, I just keep moving.
all right, I think from this trail sign over here, it's about 2 miles back to the car. That's still a lot, but 75% of it's already done. So, yeah.
As the miles tick by, my mind wanders. I think about the silence out here and how rare it is. I think about leadership, how Matt guided this entire journey with calm and confidence. No drama, no ego, just good decisions made at the right time. I think about friendship, about how walking together, carrying weight, sharing discomfort, builds trust in a way that words never could. Out here, there's no pretending. You just show up as you are, and that's enough.
All right, folks. We're in our last 1.5 mile stretch of our 4-day journey out here at San Pedro Parks Wilderness. I gotta admit to you, I'm feeling it. Day 4, I'm hurting, especially the bottoms of my feet toward the front and my toes. Feels like I might be getting blisters. We're gonna probably do close to 25 miles on this trip total in the 4 days. That's a lot of walking, especially when you're wearing a backpack that is started out at 50 pounds. It's a little lighter now, but it's still heavy. So what can I say about this trip? Well, number one, it was awesome. I loved every moment of it, even the tough ones. We overcame them and became stronger as a result, and had a good trip because of a few difficulties. Day one, we hiked between 6 and 7 miles, and we probably changed elevation of 15 to 1800 feet of going up. So day one was tough. That was a long bit of hiking and a lot of miles going up. But once we got to camp, we were loving it. It was awesome. We stayed at a camp where I'd stayed at before, back about 4.5 years ago, I think. And then we had a great campfire experience and good dinners and just hung out as friends do. And then the next morning we woke up and we hiked about 5 miles on day 2 to what we now call CDT camp, because it's a camp that's not far off the Continental Divide Trail. That one ended up being really nice too. Day 3, the weather changed on us overnight. When we woke up, there was snow on the ground. And then when we packed up and hiked, we got blasted by snow several times on day 3. And then when we're looking for a campsite, we got like white out, almost blizzard conditions for a little bit. So we set up camp really quickly. And that was last night's camp. It was nice. It was fun. It wasn't as spectacular as the first 2 camps, but hey, it was still a camp in the woods, so can't complain. And then we slept there last night. Woke up to 23 degrees this morning, I believe. So it was a little chilly. We definitely had to have a campfire this morning while we were getting breakfast ready, because that's cold. Then we packed up and started heading down the trail. Yeah, let me kind of sum up what I'm feeling about being here. It's spiritual. It really is. Being back as far as we were in the wilderness, probably the farthest I've ever gone backpacking. It was awesome. We saw elk and forest so thick that some spots of it, the sun doesn't even make it to the ground. Reminds me of Mirkwood in Lord of the Rings. I don't know why this isn't like a more of a world famous backpacking place, because you got lots of trails, over 41,000 acres. There's rivers and creeks everywhere with trout, and so you got water and you got fish. It's pretty cool. It's a really magnificent place. All right, coming up on some more murky water here. Let's take a look.
When we reach San Gregorio Lake again, it looks the same. Still water, still trees. The shoreline hasn't shifted.
All right, I see the lake up ahead.
The wind moves across it the same way it did 4 days ago. But we're not the same. 4 days ago, we crossed the threshold. Today, we cross back. And somewhere in between, something subtle happened. The edges soften. The hurry loosens its grip. The need to prove something quieted down. I didn't conquer anything out here. I didn't unlock some hidden secret of the mountains. The wilderness didn't give us answers. It gave us perspective.
The trees thin. The trail widens. And then San Gregorio Lake appears again. It feels different now. The same water, the same shoreline, but not the same people who passed it 4 days ago. There's a quiet gratitude in that moment, for the miles, for the weather, good and bad, for the solitude, and for the lessons. We reach the trailhead and drop our packs for the last time. 50 pounds gone. Shoulders release. There's no cheering, no big celebration, just a shared look that says, that was good. We load up and start to drive back to Albuquerque. The forest slowly gives away to pavement. The quiet fades, but something stays. Trips like this don't end when you leave the wilderness. They continue, quietly. It's how you listen, it's how you slow down, and how you carry yourself back into the concrete jungle. San Pedro Parks gave us 4 days of true wilderness. Miles of trail, snow and sun, peace and challenge. And it gave me something harder to name, but easier to feel. A reset, a reminder, a sense of balance. This journey is complete, but the lessons remain until the next trail. Remember, folks, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other.
Life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.